Welcome back to the Be Still Mondays meditation series, brought to you by the Newark Center for Meditative Culture. I'm Cornelia Santschi, part of the NCMC teaching team. So this is the third in a short meditation series designed to help us reconnect and stay grounded. So essentially important as we've been more limited in our social interactions these days. In the first session, we heightened our sensory awareness, and last week we reconnected with the elements integral to ourselves and to all of the natural world in our environment. Today, we'll incorporate those techniques in an exercise that adapts an ancient healing practice in nature to a meditation medicine right where we are. Long ago, we humans experienced ourselves as part of a web of life within nature and the universe. We had to for our survival and sustainability. But in that sense of belonging was a sacredness, a sense that living things were to be respected, if not revered. Our role was participatory in relationship to all things, so our ways of knowing were mediated by direct experience through dreams, visions, meditative states, intuition, and instinct. These ways of knowing kept us respectful and connected with all forms of life. In modern day, we're often separated from this belonging and interconnectedness, seeing ourselves in opposition to the rest of the natural world. And this is a deep, old wound we all carry to some extent in different ways. Of course, our personal history and ancestral stories contribute deeply to how this is felt within us, but it is common to all of humanity. In spite of this, there's still that amazing quality in us that moves us toward beauty, toward caring, toward connection, toward justice, moving us in the service of love. And we see this all around us in times of difficulty, as we're in now. This incredible part of our humanity, this journey of moving through adversity towards recognition of commonality, is a movement toward awakening and freedom. And it's with this in mind that we undertake today's practice. So, just a little background. This therapeutic practice is related to the ancient Japanese form of Shinrin Yoku, and that's SHINRINYOKU, literally forest bathing. Going to nature for healing has a long tradition in many, if not all, cultures. The belief in the healing power of nature in the Japanese tradition comes from the Shinto religion worldview, which is that all things have indwelling spirits, that sentience exists throughout the natural world. This reminds me of time I spent in Thailand when every household had a little, beautifully ornate actually, spirit house sitting in a tree or some natural setting near the home in order to make the spirits feel comfortable and at home and welcome. Today, the Japanese Shinrin Yoku guides also emphasize the science, the rationale of the practice. They often take blood pressure and various other biological measurements before and after the practice. And the benefits have clearly been shown in relaxation, enjoyment, immune system boosting, greater mental clarity. It's been shown to help respiration and allergies and decrease cardiovascular disease. I'm not sure yet of the impact on COVID symptoms, but I can't help but believe it's not going to hurt. So this doesn't have to be done in a forest, and it doesn't need to take hours to get a taste of this medicine. We will experience an introduction just where we are. So just a few things before we start. You may want to situate yourself near a place where you can have some aspect of the natural world nearby, whether that means being near a houseplant, a pet, or looking out a window. If you have a stone or a pebble or some object made from a natural element, something you can hold in your hand, bring that along. This experience has a form, which makes it a practice, and within which there's flexibility, creativity, room to play and engage in what emerges. So the form has 5 parts. It starts with intention. So something like, I will be silent and attentive to my senses and the environment is a perfectly good place to start. You can infuse this with a healing intention for specific health concerns, realignment, balance. You can also pose a question whose answer has been somewhat elusive and see what comes back. So once the intention has been established, the next step is threshold of connection. This marks a transition from one place to another, an entryway that invites the more than human world into a supportive partnership with ourselves for the exercise. So you hold your intention, express appreciation to the natural world, offer an open heart, and step across. The heart of the practice is the 3rd step, which is embodied awareness. Here we give attention to 3 things: noticing the surroundings, noticing body sensations, and noticing how the senses bring us into contact with the environment. So I'll lead a guided exercise through this part. The 4th step is then the threshold of incorporation, where we conclude our embodied experience, pause, consider the gifts received, inviting them into our consciousness, and step back across the threshold. There is time for self-reflection and or dialogue at the end. Essentially, what did you notice and what showed up? So, inviting you to stand if that's possible and works for you. If your mobility does not lend itself to standing, then please improvise in any way that works for you. It can be helpful to do this part with the eyes closed, if that feels comfortable, to reduce visual distractions and emphasize the other sense modalities in the beginning. Allowing the awareness to flow and the body to move with the practice. So standing or stabilizing, allowing the eyes to close, taking a few long, slow breaths. Notice the body and how it feels to be supported by the earth beneath the feet. Pick up a stone or your object and hold it in your hand. Keeping the feet about shoulder width apart, reach the arms out to the sides, up like a T, and then bring them in front of you so the arms are close together. When you hold the stone in front or the object, can you feel the ripples of its presence through your muscles, all the way to your toes? What happens if you curl and uncurl your toes? Can you feel the ripple of that movement going up? Improvise. Find ways to move in place that help you explore muscles and bones. Move slowly in place as you follow the suggestions as we continue along in your own way, in your own time. So with the eyes still closed, turn your attention to your skin. Notice the ways that the environment touches you. Hold your hands with the palms turned forward. You can let them hang at your sides. And let the palms be your sensors. Notice the sensations on the skin. Is there a breeze? How is the temperature? What does your face feel? Perhaps you can notice a way the environment touches you that feels good. A gift of simple pleasure. Linger with this and give it your hospitality. What sounds are around you? Notice the variety of sounds. You can exaggerate the sound of your own breathing just enough to hear it blend with the sounds around you. What is it like to be part of the symphony of this place? Notice within the experience of sound any pleasure that you find, and let that pleasure find a home within you. Again, feel free to move the body as you attend to each sensory experience, and notice how things change as you move. What tastes is the environment offering in the air you're breathing? Breathe in deeply through your open mouth, exploring the air as it passes over your tongue. Breathe in through your nose. What scents are being offered? Breathing out, you might wonder how the environment receives your exhalations. If you move your head or crouch down, do the scents change? Does what you smell stir up any feelings? With your eyes still closed, hold your arms at your sides near your hips, turning the palms forward, and feel into the direction you're facing with your entire body. Slowly begin to turn. Doesn't matter what direction, in any way you can. Noticing how you feel inside with the turning. Think of your body as having a kind of radar as your feelings register unseen contact in the environment around you. Slowly continue turning in a circle until you're facing a direction that somehow feels right to you. A direction that your body radar recognizes as a good way to face. At that point, stop circling and slowly open your eyes. Let the environment reveal itself to you as if you have never seen it before. No hurry. Simply gaze for a while. Notice the sky and other living things nearby. Just imagine letting the image in front of you develop inside of you, like a photograph, embodying the image. And at this point, you can stay standing or slowly walk in the direction that you're facing. Find a spot that feels right to stop. Standing, sitting, crouching, any position. Notice deeply what you are looking at. Be creative. Use all your senses to explore your connection with this little part of the natural world. Feel your way into it. Explore as your senses guide you, as the natural world calls you. Allowing the fullness of your sensory experience to engage. With the world in front of you. When you next hear the bell, pause. Consider the gifts you've received. Thank this place. And cross back over the threshold. Come to a place of stillness. Aware that the earth, fire, air, and water elements inside me and around me are not separate. I smile. Please take the time to reflect on what came up for you. What, if only the tiniest thing, astonished you? What abundant gifts are you grateful for? If you're doing this exercise in the context of a larger program, as some of you are, this might also be a time for sharing observations. And I'd suggest to do it in such a way that the speaker is allowed to speak without interruption and move on from person to person in this way. Feel free on your own to explore and personalize this exercise more fully in nature as it's comfortable for you, allowing yourself to come to a place of harmony. and healing. Knowing our deep connection to the natural world is powerful and extremely healing. So I hope this has been a useful exercise. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. I'm grateful for you and for this time. Stay kind to yourself. Stay hydrated. Get enough rest. Stay safe. Stay well. And stay connected. See you soon.